thank you very much for joining myself and Oscar today on our webinar. The purpose of the webinar is to showcase our cruise API capabilities. So let me introduce myself first of all. My name is Neil Welsh. I'm the head of sales for UK and EMA. And alongside me today is Oscar Suarez, who's our head of LATAM, and our specialist person within our business, our global API sales lead. So I'm just going to share my screen with you now, and we're just going to talk through a few slides today, talking about our capabilities. Let's just make sure we can see that okay. You see that okay, Oscar? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk through the agenda. So first of all, we're going to talk about who we are, so you know about us as a business and what benefits and values we provide to travel businesses. Talk through our travel products and services and an overview of the products that we supply. Obviously, the purpose of the webinar is the API. So we'll talk through our capabilities of the Cruise API, what we can provide from a functionality point of view for cancellation and amends, which cruise lines we support with direct connectivity, why you should choose Traveltek, and then we've got some questions from the attendees and also some quite common questions that we've had from some of our customers over the years that we can talk through. So let me just go through to the next slide. So who are we? So a little bit more about Traveltek. So we are an award-winning software company which has been trading well over 25 years. We're a technology company. We're not a travel business. So travel businesses invest in our technology to connect to their suppliers. We're not selling travel products, so we are always a partner and never a rival. Our platforms have generated over 5.7 billion in US dollars annually in travel revenue for our clients. So it's a very significant number of bookings and searches are made on the platform. We focus exclusively on the leisure travel industry. We have an expertise, particularly in the cruise sector. Our platform connects to over 180 cruise products, and we connect live to over 300 suppliers as well. So we're a technology company that don't just provide cruise connectivity, we provide flight and hotel connectivity, and we provide technology to all types of different cruise businesses that sell cruise. So you could be a cruise travel agent, you could be a tour operator, you could be a wholesaler, you could be an OTA. We're a company that employs over 100 people globally across Europe, APAC, EMEA, and India. So these are just some of the names that are using our technology. As I said, we're a company that's based in the UK, but we have significant business across Europe, across LATAM, across North America, and also across APAC. Some of the names there are highlighted on the box are very significant. Some of them are taking our API, using their own engineering resources and consuming our API into their platform as a means to connect to the cruise lines which will provide your own pricing coming through the API. We also provide hosted solutions as well. So we'll talk about the options you have as a customer. So there is an option obviously on an API, but sometimes it might be a better choice to use one of our hosted solutions where we can provide a website or packaging solutions for you as well. So I'm going to introduce you over to Oscar now, who's going to talk through some of the products and services and particularly some detail relating to our Cruise API. Over to you, Oscar.
Thank you, Neil. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining. So before talking our Cruise API, I would like to give it to you an overview about the different products and services that we have at Traveltek. So I would like to start with our Iceland iBoss. So this is a platform. It's a fully integrated front-end and back-end system. It's designed especially for travel agencies and travel advisors. And it's integrated, have integration with different booking journeys. So you have hotels, you have flights, you have cruises, and we have the dynamic basket concept. So that means that you can add multiple elements into one single basket and create a quote document or make a booking. Then if we go to the next step is the travel API. So as you know, we are going to be focused today on the cruise API, but we also give it to you the option to have hotel API, flight API, transfer, car rental, or even activities. So you can build your own full website or your own full system with different booking journeys if you want to use all the different APIs that we have available for you. And finally, if you want Traveltek to design your own travel website, your booking engine, or even if you want an app to be designed, we have also a design team internally that we can develop those functionality and products for you. So now we are going to talk about the cruise API. So as you know, the cruise line or the cruises industry is very complex because each cruise line have their own technology, their own API. So here at Traveltek, what we're trying to do is give it to you one single API that is going to give it to you everything standardized. So imagine that you are working with Royal Caribbean, you're working with Princess, you're working with Costa and MSC. So having one single integration, you have direct connectivity with all those cruise lines, and it's easier to maintain. So because you only have one API connection and everything is standardized, which is the right thing to do because you don't need to apply any extra logics to build the final pricing for your customers or to build the price breakdown. We give it to you everything via our API, and you just need to decide how you want to display that information to your customers. So if we focus on the features and the benefits having our API, so our API is available in JSON format, which is if you have a development team in-house, they understand that JSON is the right thing to use because it's the easy way to do any kind of integration. Our API will give it to you in one single response, all the rates, promotions, and availability, including groups, in one single response. So that means that you don't need to do several calls to get all the different pricing and promotion ability. So you can just do once. And also it's going to speed up your website or your application because with one single call, you will get all the information that you need to display to your customers. If we go to the third item, for example, which I think is important, is about the content and the translation management. So we provide to you all the content, so all the cabin descriptions, cabin images, deck plans, itineraries. So everything is controlled by Traveltek, and we just give it to you that information via API as well. So if we go to the point next, which is the cache file, we are just to make easier for you the integration and to speed up the connectivity. We provide to you a cache file every day via FTP. That file will contain all the different itineraries and sailings available for the next 3 years, including the elite pricing. So you will get the cheapest fare for an inside, outside, balcony, and suite in one single file. If you want to use payment gateways, so we already have integration with a few payment gateways that work worldwide. And also we have an option where you can send the customer credit card to the cruise line directly for a few cruise lines that they support this functionality via API. So that means that you can just send the customer credit card, the cruise line will be the merchant record, and the booking will be automatically confirmed. The last point is about the financial admin. So including in our cruise API, we give it to you access to an administration tool called ISL. The administration tool, we give it to you the functionality of generate different rules, your business rules, for example, if you want to create different markups, or if you want to block different promotions because you don't want to display specific fare codes, specific promotions to via your API connectivity. So you can control everything via one single administration tool. Now I would like to talk about the extra and optional module that we have is the cancellation and amendments. So as you know, every single time that you are a customer, you go to the website, you book a cruise, maybe you want to make some changes because you decide to change your cabin category, or you decide to change your promotion because you want to add an extra value like drink packages or Wi-Fi on board. So our API gives to you the option to just provide modifications or even cancellations via API, just to save time to your team. So that's something that you can do via API. You don't need to go to the cruise line portal to do any cancellation or modification. And also it's going to give it to you in real time, the updates. So as soon as you, for example, retrieve the cancellation penalties, you will see the cancellation penalty attached to that particular booking. If you make the cancellation and you get the successful response, you can make sure that everything has been canceled in the cruise line server. And it's an easy way just to apply any modifications or cancel the bookings directly with the cruise line. So now I would like to give it to you an overview about all the different cruise lines that we have with direct connectivity. So as you can see here, we have a full portfolio. Some of those cruise lines maybe only work in specific markets. Others are worldwide. And you can, for example, find some cruise lines that it's available in all the different markets. So here is just a list of the main integration that we have. So you go to the next, you can see that we have also more. All of these are ocean, okay? Next slide, we will have river cruise lines. So you can see we have AMA Waterways, ABT Cruising, Arosa, Riviera Travel, Uniwall. Those are river cruise lines, also with direct connectivity. And these cruise lines are with flat file pricing content only, because some of them are in an integration process, like for example, Silversea. But at the moment, we can offer to you all the static pricing, all the content with itineraries, sailings, cabin descriptions, and everything is coming from our system.
Okay, so it's back to me now, Oscar. So for many years, we've had lots of different kinds of travel clients using our services. So we've got a vast experience in that. So what we've done is we've put down some very common questions that have been put across to us through various projects. And I'm just going to ask you, Oscar, and ask you to answer them in some detail if you don't mind. So first of all, what are the benefits of using our API as opposed to a hosted solution? So customers obviously have a choice. They could use our API and they could integrate it into their platform. But why would they do that? What is the reason why it's better to do that if they have the capabilities than using one of the hosted solutions we have?
Yeah, as you say, the customer should have development team in-house, for example, to do the integration. And the main benefit using our API against the hosted solution is basically the flexibility. So you have fully control of all the different data that is available during the cruise journey. And you can decide what do you want to display to the customer, how do you want to display the information to the customer, and how many steps you want to complete the booking. So everything is controlled by your team.
Yeah, I think it's also worth adding that as comprehensive as the list of cruise lines that we have, using our API, you're able also to complement our connection with connections directly with cruise lines or other content suppliers as well. It just gives you, as Oscar alluded to, just gives you a complete freedom, but you need to have your own engineering resources to be able to do that. Otherwise, the best solution will be one of the hosted products that we have available as well. So typically, how long would it take to develop a cruise search from scratch? We get asked that a lot. So Oscar, if you wouldn't mind taking the lead on that one.
Sure, yeah. Actually, this is a good question, because obviously that is going to depends on the expertise of your team. So you have already a team that has completed in the past API integrations connecting to the travel industry, maybe not cruise, but maybe with flights, hotels. We know that cruise is maybe more complex than the other journeys, but it's going to be depending on your team experience. So usually it's going to be around 8 weeks, 10 weeks is the average to complete the integration. We have few customers that they have more experience in the past and they hit that number. And maybe they have another team that they need more time because maybe travel industry is something new for them and they need to understand more how to build the booking flow.
Okay. So, and I guess really what we do as a technology company that is vastly experienced in this kind of thing, we would make sure that we ask the right questions to all of our potential clients. So we would have a good angle on what kind of capabilities you have from an engineering point of view by the questions we ask and the responses that you give to us. But one of the questions that I'm going to pose to you now is what type of development support do we provide to our customers?
Yeah, that's something that it's managed by our project team. So as soon as the project starts and you have access to our API, we provide to you with all the documentation. So we have Postman collections with all the different calls that you need to do to complete the booking process. We also have Confluence documentation where you can have access to the more frequent questions that we have received from the customer in the past. So you can review if one of those questions are already answered there. And we also set up for you a Slack channel, for example, that you can have a few hours support per week. If you have any question or you are struggling with any part of the integration, we will help you just to continue with the integration and don't get any blocker.
Okay. So our API connects directly to cruise lines. And what that means is the price from the cruise line is our customer's native price. So it could be a gross price with the correct commission, or it could be a net rate. So one of the questions that we get asked a lot is, do we provide a mechanism where the travel company can use our tools with the API to manage margins in terms of discounts or marking up a net rate, or do they need to do it themselves?
Yeah, so thank you, Neil, for the question. Yeah, we provide an application, internal application admin, where the travel agency can log in and can just set up different rules. For example, if they want to work with net rates and they need to add any kind of markup, they can do it there. And as soon as they are using our API, the price will include that markup. So they don't need to apply any extra development logic in the booking flow. That is something that they can control using our admin area.
Okay, thank you. So the next question is, how does our clients manage deposits due from the cruise lines? And actually, how can they manage the deposits due from their clients using our platform? What does our platform support collaboratively with the API and equally balance due from the cruise lines?
Thanks, Neil. Yeah, so again, we have in our administration tool, we have 2 ways that you can set up the deposit. So one is if you want to see the deposit due date and the deposit amount available from the cruise line system, you can set up a rule to use those amounts and dates. But if you want to go one step forward, so for example, if you want to apply a low deposit rule because you want to, I don't know, give an option to the customer to pay less than the cruise line is required, for example, or you want to change the deposit today because you want to extend for a couple of days more, or you want to collect the money at the time of the booking, for example, you want to give the only 24 hours to the customer to pay the deposit. That is something that you can control in our admin area. And as soon as you set up the different rules per cruise line, everything will be automatically populated via the API. So as soon as you are doing the integration, you will receive all the dates and all the amounts based on the rules that you have previously set up in our admin tool.
That's good to know. And then we can move on to cruise packaging, so not just cruise only. So there's two types of cruise packaging. There's cruise DP or cruise dynamic packaging, where if you think about it from the consumer's point of view, they will see a cruise and they want to add on a flight and a hotel. And normally the consumer would see the price for the different elements. And then there's a different kind of cruise packaging, which is more akin to wholesalers or tour operators that are trying to inspire customers by packaging cruise with flights and hotels and other elements and presenting it as one cost to the customer. So what does our API support and what is the best approach for either?
Yeah, so you say you have two different ways to build cruise packages. So we have the cruise dynamic packaging, and we also have the cruise packaging, the product that you can build in our system. So we support both. So the main difference between the option is the I will say the complexity, because for example, if you decide to go with the cruise dynamic packaging, you need to keep in mind that you need to do the integration for the cruise API, hotel API, hotels, transfer, or even activities to display everything to your customers. And the customer can see the price individually, add everything into one single basket and book all the elements at the same time. If you use, we have a product called Traveltek, where your product team can build the different cruise packages. So they decide the different options that they want to offer to the customer with flights, with hotels, with activities. And we will just give it to you everything in one single API response. So that means that the customer will see the full package price. So they're not going to see the breakdown. They will see only the full package price. And when they make a booking, they will book all the elements at the same time.
Thank you. The next one, you did actually touch on it on one of the previous slides as well, but we want to go into a little bit more detail. So the cruise lines don't actually support any of the content through the API. So it'll be good to explain what we provide as a technology provider and the kind of service we provide for the content. And how is translations managed, and does the client have an option of complementing the translations that our own team have done with their own version of that translation?
Thanks, Neil. Yeah, so as you said, the cruise line only provides to you the information about the availability, promotions, and the booking process. So they are not going to provide to you the rich content that we have at Traveltek, and that's something that we provide via our API. So the main content that we provide to all our customers is the sailing with all the itineraries, so they can see all the itineraries, the visiting ports, part of each sailing. They can see the cabin descriptions. So we have a content team that they are going to keep up to date all the information that we receive from the cruise line. So we'll see all the different cabin images, deck plans. If, I don't know, you have another ship coming, we just set up that ship in our system with all the different information that is part of the new ship, and it's going to be available for our customers. And we also provide a translation module. So that means, for example, that we give it to you. For example, if we are talking in Spanish, so we provide to you the translations that we get from the cruise line. However, if you want to customize the cabin descriptions, or if you want to customize anything just to be displayed on your customers, because maybe it is a market required or it's something that you want to be maybe different from the rest of the travel companies, you can do it in our system. So you will have a translation module where you can just personalize or customize the cabin descriptions, the ship information, so you will have access to all the content that is available and is keep up to date from our content team.
That's good to know, Oscar. And finally, to round off the questions, what's the value of our API as opposed to consuming the cruise line's APIs separately? So obviously, customers have a choice. You could reach out to cruise lines. You could ask for access to a credit themselves in terms of being a technology partner to connect to the cruise lines. Now, what I would say, without answering this question myself, and I would like you to answer it, Oscar, if you don't mind, but I would say that we have some very significant travel companies that use our cruise API around the world. Some very big companies, such as Donata, such as Flight Centre, that are using our API. They have their own capabilities of engineering, but there's reasons why they do that. So, Oscar, over to you.
Yeah, I think the main two factors is
Yeah.
cost and saving time.
Yeah.
So imagine that you work with 5 cruise lines, so you speak directly with those cruise lines. You go and try to do the integration. So you need to have one integration per cruise line, and each cruise line
Yeah.
have their own technology. So you have different ways where the cruise line will provide you the pricing or the promotions, availability. So you have 5 different flows in your system.
Mhm.
And also, you need to maintain the cruise line API. So I think that's the save time and cost. So imagine that every single cruise line will create an enhancement or API upgrade every 6 months. So if you need to keep upgrading or maintaining the APIs for 5 different cruise lines, it's the only one connection, which is our cruise API. The cost will be higher for you because you need to spend more resources to keep up to date the API connectivity for those cruise lines, and also the time, because you need to spend more time to make sure that everything is right, the information that you have from the cruise line is correct, everything works. When with our cruise API, everything is easier for you, and also you will save high cost because you need only to pay one single supplier and one single connection.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you, Oscar, and thank you everyone that has attended today. So again, the focus today is on Traveltek's cruise API capabilities, but also making sure that you're aware that we have other products and services available, and sort of chatting through some of the common questions and queries from our clients. And we'd welcome any outreach from any of you that want to take any conversations further, want to talk about whether an API would fit for your business or whether a hosted solution would be good for you. We will be sending you a recording, and we will be sending you our contact details. So feel welcome to reach out directly to myself or Oscar. Have a great day and enjoy the rest of the week. Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Bye.
Bye.